We were under 4. Didn't have a single replay. Didn't have a chance to. Y'all keeping up with that clock and what all's going on there? As soon as the ball hits the glove, it starts. Anyway, for another day, right? That was fun, wasn't it? Been a lot more enjoyable if you knew how it was going to turn out the whole way. Guys really pitched well. Really pitched well. It's a really good offensive team over there. But their guys pitched well too. Strada's really good.
But is it kind of amazing how evenly matched these two teams have been the last year and a day now? I mean, 10-9 last year to go into the wild card. Last 2 games, 11 innings, one swing games.
Yeah, they had a lot of similarities. We actually had the same home plate umpire. Not that I remember. I'll shut up. But I actually thought one of the key. Yeah, it does certainly seem that way. Stay tuned. We only got what, 18 more, 19, 17. I don't know what it is. Try not to look at it. I thought one of the key. It always goes back to your starting pitcher. Goz was one of the keys today, and I thought the 3-0 pitch out he got in the first inning was a big play in the game that kind of goes unnoticed. That you're trying to get your feet on the ground early, and made a good pitch and didn't quite get through it.
Like yesterday, you mentioned what you wanted was perfect weather.
I'll take that compared to what everybody else has had here.
It just sort of played out the way you wanted it. Beer cold, Orioles win, and then it's a good game that wants to bring everyone.
Oh, I'll have the windows down. I'll have the windows down, going about 5 miles an hour down Pratt today. Make sure I'll see if I can. Well, I won't go that far, but no, that's great. It's one of those days you reach back for and realize this is why you do what you do. You almost feel guilty being down in Sarasota with that weather, knowing what's happening up here. We look at the weather all the time. We have homes here and very engaged and connected on what's going on in Baltimore. But it's kind of like a spring. It's a day where you want the weather to be good, and everybody starts. Birds showed up in the backyard this morning. The grass is starting to turn green, and it's baseball season. So unfortunately, it doesn't always cooperate with you on the scoreboard, but today it did. It was a good game. Like I said, it'd be a lot more enjoyable if you knew how it was going to turn out. Just had some really good efforts by our bullpen, really good defensive plays. Obviously, Manny. I mean, my gosh, there's a part of his ability that I don't have to play. Very seldom do I have to play him on the line because of his range. And I thought that play was a great example of it. We may lean that way. It's the only thing I'll give him a signal every once in a while about leaning that way with a guy like Pierce, who's a bottom hand hooker on that pitch down in. But it's just such a weapon for us. And the infield is going to be great. It's a new feel to it, and guys are starting to get used to it. But there's the ball stays down a lot more right now. We had really 2 days to try to get on a new surface. Pardon? Yeah, he's got a pretty good skin mark on top, and that was what I worried about, was how he got it caught up underneath him. And what's better, the play or the throw? Who else makes that throw? Nobody.
You've seen him do that. We've seen him do it dozens of times. Any time you had a loss for words when you see plays like that again?
Oh, sure. I mean, I see stuff happen. I tell you, every night. That's why I've never seen a guy throw a bat in the stands 2 pitches in a row, y'all. In the dugout, I looked at John, and just like John always does, I've never seen that before. I was thinking that all the people, 50 people, would get up and just leave, until his bat's over, or I was waiting for the bat to be thrown back at him. No, don't do that. Please don't do that.
But I mean, just with Manny, the way he can just do that, and it just seems like it's just every place for him, a common place for him.
Yeah, and we never take it for granted. And it's just, for a guy that played shortstop, he's really, we've been very fortunate to have some really good third basemen. I was watching on the plane. They had the 83 last game on when we were flying to Norfolk, and first time I got to see it from start to finish, but I'd forgotten how good a third baseman Doug DeCensis was. And of course, Rip and Manny and Brooks and probably missing 2 or 3.
Gosman in the fifth inning, he's getting close to 100 pitches, and does he just the walks? Is he just getting fatigued at that point this early in the season?
You know, I don't know if it's fatigue or they grind. Their weapons they have all the way through the lineup. You can't drop your guard. I'm gonna tell you, good pitchers have places. I think coast is the wrong word, but they don't go with their best bullet, and they're able to get some outs and they save it. You know, it's a high stress. I don't know about stress the word. High intensity needed outing when you face lineups like that, like we face in American League East. It wears on you, and you know you don't want to give in. You know, we talk a lot of times about living to fight another day. Sometimes the best pitch you throw is ball 4. You know, even though you know it can get you in trouble. But where's the breathing room? But you know, I'd like to think that they're thinking the same way about us.
Now with that, you mentioned all of the people in the bullpen pitching well today, but Zach wasn't really happy with where he was mechanically leaving spring training. Did you see?
You know,
improvement?
he was good today. It's funny. I was talking to him in the outfield during BP. Said it's funny how comfortable guys are here, and when they get in their environment. You know, he said, I got here. You know, they play flat ground catch. They have a routine. All of them go through. He said it just like everything kind of clicked just as I was playing catch. It was just the environment, the culture of being back home and being comfortable, and those are things that you can't quantify. You know, how do you teach that in Sarasota to just the feel and the, you know, a lot of times the mind, memories of good things here and how comfortable you feel, it kind of takes over the physical part of the body. But he felt good today. That was, you know, he had 8 pitches in the first inning, so we ran him out there again. And I actually looked at Roger. You know, Roger gave me that look about the third. We ended up with like 19, 18. But that was good. I wasn't going to use Darren today. So hopefully with tomorrow, not use him today and tomorrow, he'll be available Wednesday. If not, then we're going to need to think about DLing him. I really want to make sure he's healthy to start the year.
He had some mean innings there offensively after Trumbo's double there. I mean, I think it was 3 for 26, something like that. But when you go through that stretch, but then you're reminded at the end that you can win a game with one swing of the bat with guys like you have.
Well, our guys were good too. Our pitchers. And first of all, Estrada was really good. You know, for a long time he was right there in the Cy Young Award last year. I mean, this guy's one of the best pitchers in the American League, and you know, you just hope that you play good defense, and you have to have a good pitching effort to compete in a game like that. And we get to do it again day after tomorrow. You know, we had the potential of doing some things on the off day tomorrow. I really wanted them to get we knew we didn't want to schedule anything. We have a trip to Annapolis on Thursday, and that's an honor to go up there and be asked. But tomorrow's a day. Richie and I were talking to our trainer about how nice it's going to be to get back into a routine on Thursday, because these guys have kind of been out of kilter, out of routine. That's why we tried to have the advanced meeting last night, because I knew that late yesterday afternoon, because I knew how rushed and out of your element, out of your routine you're going to be today. So it's a nice day to take a blow and then get ready to grind.
Along the same lines of being comfortable here, Trumbo goes all spring without hitting a home run, and then he does it here in his first game. He has a double as well. Let's just go back to your trusted track record philosophy.
Spring training. I mean, could you imagine me walking up to Mark after hitting X number of home runs last year? Mark, what's wrong with your power down in spring training? You give me that, really? You know. No, but he hit some in BP. It never even crossed my mind. I really didn't. I tell you, he's really evolved as a hitter. He knows who he is, and he got a breaking ball strike there, and he just missed one that I think probably had a little outer half.
You know, everybody always asks you about opening day and it's special and stuff. But once the game starts, is it like any other regular season game, or is it more intense?
It is, from the standpoint, once you get into the fire, you get through the first inning or two, and you get back in your element, and you go, I remember how this, little things about where you put your notebook, how you do the lineup. I mean, all these things come flooding back to you in a hurry. But I don't want to say pressure, but you really want to. I mean, people make a lot of effort and sacrifices to come out here and work around the day, and you really want them to go home. And it's a great opportunity to have them feel as good about us as we do about them.
use a lot of those guys today? I mean, is this the benefit of having?
Oh, it was a, we're product of the parts, and there's a lot of pieces available that we didn't have last year. We really didn't, and I think Craig had that base stolen. Of course, 2 strikes, you got to swing the bat there, but he's not going to be afraid to bring what he brings. That was a really good defensive team we had on the field at the end of that game.
You were, big guys are 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position today, but the other 7 at bats, they put the ball in play every time. Is that meaningful rather than have 3 strikeouts or 4 strikeouts?
Well, I don't know which one it is, because sometimes I think, boy, our concentration level is so good today. The strikeouts weren't as high. I mean, we ended up with, I know we didn't have one to like the 3rd inning, but it's impossible to duplicate the level of intensity and concentration every day. It's just, you'd like to and you attempt to. Everybody does, but you're human beings, and you have you guys have your moments where, and ladies, where you go, you got to push yourself to get through something you're supposed to do, and other days it just flows. So it's tough. That's why you challenge yourself like y'all do to do something that separates you a little bit from somebody that maybe can't do what y'all do.
You have a game like that one where you see so many things that you don't see very often, the bats going into the stands and the plays at third base and all those other things. To win the game with a walk-off in the 11th after losing with a walk-off in the 11th back in Toronto, how weird does that seem, considering all that went on today?
That's right. You're right. It doesn't seem weird at all. It seems appropriate. How's that? By God. But was it like 10 o'clock tonight? What time is it?
Game starts soon.
Oh, what time's that game start? You want to go double or nothing? Double or nothing?